I took some time off of Facebook a few weeks. I joined back up or like reactivated it.
Yeah.
And for the first couple days, I was like, oh, it's not so bad because I was seeing stuff that they knew I liked.
Yeah.
But they don't really want to do that, Facebook. They want to drive you crazy because driving you crazy usually leads to engagement.
They need you immediately engaged. I think we talked about this, and we will get to this here in a second, at Laugh Factory
We did.
last
That's right.
week, about how I deleted the app from my phone, but I need it for work, to like post things on the Laugh Factory page or whatever. And you have to kind of go through, unless you have the Pages app, you have to go through your personal account to get to your brand page. So as soon as I like Facebook.com and hit enter, whatever that first post is, like Facebook makes sure it's good and juicy enough for me to be like, what the fuck did they say? And you know what I mean? I'm like, immediately, like I just hop in and then I'm like, all right, well, what else is going on since I'm already, and then by the time I realize that, oh, I came here to do something very specific and I haven't done it yet. And sometimes I never do it. Like sometimes I go through it, I argue a few times, like a few things, share a few things, and then I get off and I'm like, the fuck did I get on there for?
Well, that's the sickness, man. That's what makes it so sickening to me as a website, because I'll see the same thing, something real juicy. It's like, this is 137 comments. Let's see what these dickheads said. And then you find yourself reading the opinions of people you don't even like. And it's affecting your mood.
It is.
You're legitimately being like angered by it. I remember one time I was reading a bunch of them, and my son, my 3-year-old son, the most important, and his brother, my 1-year-old son, the most important people to me, he was like asking me for something. And I remember being like, hold on a second. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm telling you to hold on because I want to read some fucking loser's opinion? What the fuck is wrong with me? And that's right away. I'm like, get away from me, phone. What do you need, person I love and care about, versus someone I can't stand?
My seed. What do you...
Right? I equate it to, the problem with Twitter's bad with this too, and Facebook especially, is that it used to be, you're a longtime Chicago guy. You're waiting for the train. You're Washington and Dearborn waiting for the blue line. It's subway, it's underground. There's some crazy person. We'll say homeless. I don't like making fun of and shitting on homeless people, though. But for the sake of the picture I'm trying to paint for people listening via audio, it's a homeless guy. He's just shouting out crazy shit. You used to ignore him. People would just ignore him. Now people would be like, I gotta fucking amplify this guy's voice for whatever reason. I have to tweet it. I have to Facebook it. And that's how I view it. Every time someone tweets something stupid, everyone has to tweet it. Like that song WAP that's going on right now with Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
I have not heard it yet. I've watched the music video on mute, though. And kids were around. I couldn't listen to it with the audio on. But every old senator and congressman, or not even those people, because they're actually they have a platform. But any fucking loser dipshit out there with 7 followers who's like, oh, look at these sluts. I don't fucking like it. You don't need to retweet them. You don't need to retweet them going, I bet their girlfriends never came. I don't understand. Why give them the time of day? Just ignore them.
You mean to tell me that you don't want your girl to tell you that she wants you to hit that little dingly thing in the back of her throat? Like what? We don't want that. And for that is a lyric. I know you.
That's a lyric.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
He's like, I got the point in the music video when she was pointing out
that part of the video. I'm like, I don't think you need to point to that. I think we all know what you mean. The visual is probably not necessary. You're gonna gag yourself. That's too much. But no, nothing to do with this song. It's just so funny to me that every time there's something that's culturally significant in any way and everyone's talking about it, we have to highlight the people who are just speaking out of their ass. Just ignore them.
I think that's why the news cycle dies so quickly, is because no matter what it is, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone needs to talk about it. Everyone exhausts it so quickly that by the time they beat it to death and they hear their opinion, they get that out, and then they hear 1,000 other opinions. They're like, I'm fucking over it. I've heard everything, every side, every angle, every opinion that there is to know about one particular thing. It's like, okay, on to the next one. And then it's just you beat that to death, and nothing really lives very long. 2 days from now, yes, people will still be watching the WAP video on mute for other reasons. But it won't be, you know what I mean? I remember 2 Live Crew. and Uncle Luke, and like the White House and Ronald Reagan, if I'm not mistaken, was the president at the time, and like they had this whole crusade to like ban their music from like the radio, and so like that was like a huge thing. But ultimately for them, that like catapulted their kind of like their visibility and their popularity, because if the president is talking about it, then like everyone's like, who the hell is the Two Live Crew? Then they listen to them and they're like, either you like them or you love them, or you hate them.
Yeah.
They're like, I kind of like what they're talking about.
Well, that's what it's a great example. All they do is amplify them.
Yeah.
I thought about how that Shane Gillis dude who got hired by SNL and then fired like 3 hours later.
Grand opening, grand closing on a career.
Yeah, like so quickly. Nobody knew who the fuck he was before that happened.
Yeah.
Nobody. And if he would have done SNL, my guess is, and it's not a knock on Shane, I don't know Shane at all. I've seen a couple of his stand-up clips. Pretty funny guy, actually. And I've seen a couple of his sketch stuff. There's a really funny sketch where he plays like a fireman. I don't know what it's on. Maybe it's on Funny or Die or something.
Yes. And it's ironic given how he was kind of ousted.
Yeah.
That clip, the fireman clip. Yeah.
You've seen that one, right?
Yeah.
I'll try to link in the comments, maybe, everyone, if I remember to do that. I always say that shit. I never do it. But, yeah, I got to be better about that. Anyway, so that dude, though, say he gets SNL, I'd put good money that he kind of has like a one and done, which happens.
or just kind of like a fart in the wind type of career.
I just don't think he was going to fit. Yeah, not a knock. I don't think he was going to fit the mold. But either way, my point is that no one knew who the fuck he was. Everyone started not everyone, but a lot of people trashed him. And then that made people go, well, who is this guy? Yeah. They looked him up and they go, well, I'm going to take his side because fuck you. And you mentioned with the whole music, this is like a big crusade that started in the 80s with Reagan. And I'll give Democrats shit because Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, she carried that torch. And it happens a lot. You see it. It's just a distraction. They think, oh, I could get middle America who's scared of everything to be like, look what they're talking about. Do you want your sons and daughters to hear about wet ass pussies? Do you want to hear that? Is that really, well, it's just so fucking weak and lame. Also, like, this shit's been going on forever. I'm not even going to give Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion that much credit. Salt and Pepper talked about sex better than you two did.
Yeah, they did.
They weren't as graphic. I don't know. I just like Salt and Pepper's voice is better, quite frankly.
I don't know what Shoop is, but I'm assuming it's sex.
Oh yeah, well they have dick references in that too. They go, hey, I want to know, how does it hang? Straight up, wait up, hold up, like Yeah. By the way, how often do you get to hear me quoting Salt and Pepper?
Come to Kilgallon's pub if you want a lyrical breakdown of Salt and Pepper, baby.
Dude, they had hits. They were like one of my favorite duos because I had babysitters. My parents divorced when I was like 5, and before my dad remarried. I never remember when I was 10, but anyway, there was a few years there where every day after school, I'd get home and there'd be a teenage girl to babysit me and my sister. And they loved Salt and Pepper. Huge. And Vogue was big with them. SWV, like these were like the groups. So
and you were riding for whatever they were riding for.
Yeah, sure.